Microphone check 1 2 1 2. You're now rocking on the west side. You and I know it's the best side. It's Wolfgang Amadeus. And I'm here to bring you what I bring you. Supposedly, they said the Game and Dr. Dre reunited. This is new. Everybody's kind of going crazy about this story. There's all types of pictures and video going around right now, and yeah, I find it interesting. But yeah, the Game and Dre did reunite, but not like that. I think it has something to do with something that was going on with the Game's son. Game's son had been gifted a car, and this is, via Effortless Motors. It's an automotive dealership. Shout out to them. And I believe, Game had gifted his son a car. And I guess Dre just popped up. Crazy. I don't know. But I want to talk about it because I'm like, what's up with this? Are they squashing their beef? For those who don't know, I wouldn't even say there's a beef because I don't even think Dre even plays those kind of games when it comes to beef. But Dr. Dre was seen when Game was gifting his son a car not too long ago, over the weekend. Let's get into it. So apparently, it's you mean to tell me that Game once said some things about Dre. Like, he said that Kanye did more for him than Dre. Because he, just a little salty. He was left out of the Super Bowl. He had issues with Aftermath. And now all of a sudden he and Dre are cool. Okay. I don't know, but let's see. For those who don't know, let me set the foundation, give you a little bit of history. Game was discovered by Dre in 2003. Actually, I believe Game was doing some stuff with JT the Bigger Figure first. So let's give JT his props. Shout out to JT the Bigger Figure. But he got brought over to Aftermath 2003 and G-Unit. Co-signed by Dre Heavy. Wasn't a lot of MCs on the West Coast that were getting that. Dre executive produced the documentary in 2005. The Hate It or Love It joint and How We Do, both featuring 50 Cent. Now, Dre didn't just sign Game, he introduced him to the world. Let's just keep it a buck. Like I said, JT the Bigger Figure did his thing too, but Dre was the one that really put him out there. Now, after that situation, when his album dropped, the documentary, Game and 50's tension, let's just say that. There was Game was part of G-Unit, and they had a falling out. 50 and Game. 50 and Game it's like oil and water. They wasn't gonna mix, wasn't gonna happen. And eventually Game got removed from G-Unit, but he was still tied with Dre and Aftermath. But even that relationship became distance. Game's biggest problem wasn't that he wasn't, talented or nothing like that. It was loyalty, in my opinion. It was politics as well. With that whole 50 Cent and G-Unit and Game stuff, Game should have just let that rock out and did what he did, because that was a thing for Dre. Dre was trying to build up something. I think it would have been they just would have had their tentacles all over the United States, and that would have been a good thing for Dr. Dre. I think that some of the church's money up, if you ask me. Now, we could fast forward. Game publicly said something about Kanye West did more for Dre. More for his career than Dre. Kanye produced Dreams. That was one of Game's biggest songs on the documentary as well. Game felt Dre didn't stay hands-on after the debut. And I don't know. Look, you shouldn't need Dre to like hold your hand. You got a classic album. The documentary's a classic. Dre set you up. You should have went off and gone. But I don't think that. I don't know, man. Some guys gotta have, let's just, anyway. So Dre basically never publicly went at the Game. That's true. Dre is just like I'm gonna keep my distance. I don't want any drama, and that's how you move. I'm not mad at him. Now during the Super Bowl halftime was this Super Bowl halftime? Was this 51? Dre featured Snoop, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, Mary J. Blige, and 50. Game was not included. Game reaction: he was publicly upset. He felt like he was instrumental in the West Coast resurgence. He compared himself to Kendrick. Game felt like he built part of that lane, and he got left out of the celebration. Now, here we are. This is years later, because Game was saying all kind of stuff about Dre, and Dre never said anything. Now, years later, here we are. Game and Dre are reuniting. Game's son, I think it's the same son, the baby from the documentary album cover, gifted him a car, and yeah, I guess Dre just popped up. So Dre, I guess, said, did he say something about we still family regardless of everything? I think that's what he said. But you can look at Dre's face. Dre's face says it all. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not finna get into. I'm not gonna get into what it means. But Lonzo, shout out to Lonzo. Lonzo discovered Dr. Dre. Lonzo's a good friend of mine. Lonzo's a good guy, and Lonzo knows Dre, and Lonzo know how Dre move, and and just seeing how the industry is and seeing how Dre is, I'm like, yeah, I get it. I understand. If you got someone who's a little radioactive and messing up your brand, you kind of want to distance yourself. Relationships in hip hop is pretty much business first, personal later, and it could be repairable. I'm not saying that this situation is not. It's not. We're almost 20 something years after the documentary, so it's like maybe there's something going on with this reunion. The legacy preservation, this West Coast unity. We don't know, and I don't know, but I'm just saying, for me, it don't look like Dre. Dre was like, I don't know. Let me get up out of here type of situation. I mean, I think Game went too far with a few comments that he said about Dre. That's just me. Do y'all think that Game went too far with the Kanye comment? He literally said Kanye did more for him than Dre did. And it's like, nah, bro. Dre brought you on. Man, if you get a cosign by Dre, that's everything. It was at the time. It still is. Dre don't really just put, should Game have been left out of the Super Bowl? Me personally, I got my own opinion. But what y'all think? You really think Dre did less for Game than Kanye? Do you think Dre abandoned Game in his earlier career? Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. But at the end of the day, Dre gave Game a platform. Kanye gave Game moments, right? We're watching a reunion, and this should have happened years ago. But in my opinion, I just think Dre is like, yo, you burned this bridge. We cool. I ain't gonna just, walk past you. But yeah, I don't know. That's just me. That's just how I see it. What y'all think? Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. You think we finna get another Game and Dr. Dre album? Probably not. Probably let your Glock go pop. Now drop to your knees and picture this Wolf Gang blowing through the freeze. All right, y'all. I'm bullshitting. I'll get with y'all, man. Peace.